Is confusion a bad thing? How about conflict? What is bad, confusion or conflict, or both of them? We'll talk about it. Hello everyone, my name is Debopom Sanyal and I am your personal coach. Thank you. So, what I'm going to talk about today? Interesting, conflict and confusion. And I'm going to talk about from your own perspective, right? Not conflict with others, it's with own perspective. So, what is confusion? Generally speaking, in a layman language, what is the confusion? That is when you are not sure about more than one options. Right? You don't know what to do, maybe two or three, maybe you have different options and you are not really sure which option you should opt for. Right? So you are in a state of confusion. That's a confusion. What is conflict? Conflict is when you are debating with different opinions. You have formed different opinions and you have different point of view, belief, values, and you are in loggerhead with those values, not with someone else, within you. Right? That's a conflict and that's a confusion. I hope both of these topics are clear now, because before we go into it, I wanted to make sure that we lay the foundation. Now, to me, I always say confusion isn't something very evil. It's not bad, right? Generally, we do associate the word confusion with negative emotions, but it's not really that bad. Why? I'll tell you. So why confusion happens? So if you are confused between two options, let's take only two options, right? That you have two options and you are confused. I want to eat ice cream today, right? Or I'll just sit at home and do a video, right? So what I'm confused between these two, right? So what does it mean? That means I have not fully grabbed all the information that is required to process the decision, right? So that means there are opportunities to learn about all the options that I have in my hand. I haven't processed everything, neither with shooting a video nor with eating an ice cream outside, right? So I am still in the journey of acquiring knowledge or information to take a decision. So confusion is not that bad, right? It simply means you are in a state of dilemma and you don't really know where to begin. So if you stall there, that's a bad thing, right? So what should be your step if you are in confusion? If you are in confusion, the next step should be to go about it, to go and acquire the information that is required to process, make a decision, right? If you don't do that, then it's a bad thing, right? Because then you are not really doing anything any favor. You are in that space where you're still confused. But what needed to be done? It's like I want to pass an exam, but I'm not really studying about it, right? So what do? I'll just be doing it again and again and again the same thing. It doesn't really matter. So either I go, give the exam, either pass or fail, whatever, understand where am I, what I need to do, acquire the knowledge, give the exam, and one fine day I'll pass. That's fine, if not in the first time, right? So, but I am taking action. So confusion is always associated with an action. So it requires you to take some action so that you take a decision. So confusion, action, which helps you to take a decision. I hope that clarifies. Now, conflict. What is conflict? As I said, conflict is where you are in fighting within yourself. So maybe two of your values are, a loggerhead, or maybe your beliefs or your two opinions that you have formed, or two decisions that you have made. So you are not able to come to a conclusion. So you are, kind of battling within yourself. Now, that's a bad thing. Yeah. Why? Because whenever there is a conflict, there will be something that will lose and something will win. Right? What happens in a conflict, in a war? A party wins, a party loses. Right? That's how it is. It's never like oh, you win, I win, you lose, I lose. Some party will lose more, some party will lose less, or some party will win more, some party will win less, but there will be a ratio. Right? So when you are in conflict within yourself, something will lose, and that will be from you. It doesn't matter who wins, what wins, it doesn't matter which belief wins, but something will lose, right? So when you are in conflict, you need to cool your head, right? That okay, if I continue this conflict, something is going to be defeated, and that would be mind. So you go back, you talk to yourself, you talk to your, go to a peace, a place of peace, and where you can think with all your awareness, that what am I actually fighting for? What is that conflict all about? Right? So what do I really want? Maybe something is holding me back. Maybe some pressure, some expectations, some unnecessary boundaries that I have created around myself is causing me to have a conflict. Because what you want is the same thing. You want one thing because you are one. I'm one, right? So what I want is the same thing from that comes from within. That's come from your inner self, the core self, right? That's one thing. And then we have layers of emotions, layers of rationality, sense, ego, so on and so forth. So many things, right? And all of these things come together and create conflict. But at the end of the day, our inner self, core, lose the battle. So whenever you're in conflict, remember, you need to talk to yourself. You need to identify what is causing that conflict. What emotion is causing that conflict? What values is causing the conflict? Right? And stop that battle. You do not need a war within yourself. You do not need a conflict. Right? What you need is that you talk to yourself. You find out what are the things that are actually making this happen. So the first step again with conflict, you need to talk. Before you take action, you need to talk to yourself. You need to find out why is it happening, right? What are the things that is causing all this? And then you take action, right? It's when it comes to conflict, it's not about decision. Right, like in confusion, it's about taking a decision. With conflict, it's not like taking a decision, right? Because you already have taken decisions, but you are your two minds, yourself with on our self, right? On our core self, there are so many layers of emotion, rationals, right? Different emotional, different experiences of our life that come together, and these two person within me are in conflict, right? So it's not about taking a decision. It's about telling those two people who are talking, telling those two values who are actually, creating the uprising within myself or within ourselves, right? That cool down. This inner self wants this. This is your emotion talking, right? And this is how we handle it. So you calm both of them down. You do not go to conflict. If you do not go to conflict, you do not lose. Now somebody will say you do not win. You do win, right? So remember, if somebody tells that you cannot win if you do not go to war or conflict, it doesn't sound right. For example, what happens if World War II or World War One or different other battles that we had, right? Didn't have happened. We would have not lost so many people, right? So, would have won. We, all of us, the entire world would have won. But few people won, yeah. Few lost. But at what cost? So you might win, but what would be the cost? You need to find out what would be the cost. So, conflict, avoid. It's not about avoiding conflict. You need to champion that conflict, right? Champion conflict and listen to your inner self and be brave enough. Be brave enough to accept it, right? Conflict might happen. You need to accept that it might happen. It's a natural thing, right? There is nothing bad that conflict comes, but it's bad if you be in that conflict, if you live in that conflict. So be brave enough, courageous enough, and I'm sure you can do it, right? We all have that capability to resolve it. Yeah. I hope you will be brave enough to admit, acknowledge, and fight it out. So thank you so much for watching. As I said, please put your questions if you have any in the comment section. Do talk about or do tell me what are the things that you want me to cover, if you have any preference, right? If you want me to cover anything, and if you want to reach out to me for anything, you want to talk about anything, do reach out to me in the email address given below in the description. Until the next video, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.